Okay, so I know that this is really poor form and bad radio bits, but we have been waiting too long. It is your birthday. Oh, wait, there we go.
That was a short drum roll.
That was. Oh, Tim.
We didn't wait that long.
Do we need to find a better drum roll?
We'll get a better one.
Okay.
It is well past your birthday. I told you last week we got your birthday gift.
Yeah.
I told you it's going to be the best gift we probably have ever given each other. And I stand by that. So, Timmy.
Yeah.
Without further ado, the man in charge of the priceless birthday gift. Where is it?
It's somewhere between Arizona and Utah.
I can't really comment negatively on this.
Stay tuned next week. There you go.
There's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Back to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mystery Bay. And I am joined by my co-host and partner in crime, Dr. Chad.
Someone call for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
I am giftless.
And he's somewhere between Utah and Arizona, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Dr. Tim.
Here we go, baby. Prepare to be underwhelmed.
Well, on this episode, we have got an awesome show for you. We're going to be talking with our guy Roto of the Rotobox.com and Monster Breaks. And we're going to be talking all things hobby with Roto. But before we jump into chatting with him, we got to talk about these PSA registries, Tim.
Do we? Did I make you guys?
According to you and our show notes, the answer to that is yes. We're happy to oblige, buddy.
So, Tim, tell us a little bit about these registries.
Yeah, so I knew that these existed. I'm sure Roto does too. But
It's a good start.
I do.
Yeah.
True.
But what cued the segment was I stumbled across in my Facebook feed, as I do a lot of times, a set called the Basic Jordan Card Set. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know anything about it and what was considered basic Jordan cards, but
Okay.
I clicked on the link and I got a little inspired, and here we are.
What did you see when you clicked on the link, Tim?
I too have that question.
Fair enough. Yeah. Should we just talk about that rather than the
Yeah,
registries?
I think what you're
Let's go
getting
for
at,
there.
Tim, is that PSA's website offers an ability for users to, for free of charge, all it takes is your hours and hours and hours of registering these things.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can register where you are in your collection in trying to collect a particular set. When I first heard of these set registries, what my mind went to was, okay, well, every insert set in basketball cards is going to be on here. Do you collect the, I don't know, what's
92 beam team.
Thank you. That's how I thought they would break up the set. So at first I thought, this is way too overwhelming. But when you go on the website, you can actually, what they do is they break it up by either team and year or specific player, right?
Correct. Yeah. And some of the lists are even custom, right? I mean, like under these subcategories, you can even get more specific and basically design your own chase set. And yeah, I mean, this has always been in the background as far as the hobby goes, and it seemed a little too intimidating, right? Because it took us a while, Chad and Ricky, to get to the point where we even cared about PSA slabs, right? And taking PSA slabs a step further, I mean, you always see Chad scanning in the background, the back of the cars to say, hey, what's the pop report?
Right.
And PSA does have a ton of data out there, and you can basically head over to the PSA website and search the registries and see just how overwhelming these lists and possibilities for these registries are. I mean, you could basically go in any direction you want for any of the sports: football, baseball, basketball, even non-sport registries exist.
Right, right. So what happens is I went on and I chose, for example, Barry Sanders, And if you go on his set registry, they've got the basic set registry. And the basic set registry is every base card that came out from the major manufacturers, from best I can tell, during the years the player was actively playing.
Yeah, it seemed to be limited to that.
You're not going to see a ton of like parallels in this set. You're not going to see Mosaic because Barry Sanders had long retired.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll save my thoughts for a second. But when you go in there, you can also click on the different users and how much of the set they have completed or how high of a grade they've got in each card.
Right. And I think that's a good time to mention that, depending on the cards on these lists, each card is weighted differently, right? I mean, for good reason, right? The rookie card should be weighted much heavier, more heavily than any of the other cards on the set, obviously. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they derived the actual weight for some of these cards, but, it seemed pretty logical to me as I was going through most of these lists, so I didn't really question it. But where that matters is that depending on which grade you have that card in, you get a certain score for that given card in the given registry. Right. And basically, you're trying to chase after these cards in a manner where you're competing against other people trying to do the same set. And it's a badge of honor, basically, if you do it better than the rest. I mean, it's a literal leaderboard that exists for each of these registry sets. And
I don't know how much time you guys spent with the rules, but they go so into the weeds with these. It's whoever gets there first and completes it. But then if they update their set and it's a higher grade, then they get to jump you and you can't. It's crazy. But I thought it was cool. I was pretty surprised at how few collectors there were for each set. I didn't see any that were like over 150. I'm sure there were some that I missed, but it seemed like pretty basic numbers. What was your initial thought of all this, Chad?
My initial thought was, well, what's the driving force to me to go take time out of my day to do this? Right. I'm a competitive guy. I want to see, is there an award or what happens with this? So you get a badge.
Yeah. A star if you're the finest in any given year.
And that's it for now. The website states that there could be prizes associated with these badges in the future, but as of right now, they're not.
NFTs. Yeah. A little participation trophy.
Which might be great for you.
No, not going to do it.
Nah, for me, it doesn't necessarily ring a bell. I mean, that doesn't get my competitive juices flowing. I do think it is kind of cool. I like the scoring aspect of it because anyone can go and obtain these cards, but the fact that they are weighted a little bit based off of how early you got them, Ricky, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked about yet is the top pop can get you bonus points like extra credit, meaning if you have the highest grade of a card and there's not a population higher than yours, then you get a little extra bonus point added on.
And I think that's where the saying, like PSA 10, Pop 1, none graded higher seems to have originated from. People seem to take pride in the fact that they own the highest graded copy.
And I've always liked that. Yeah. I mean, for me, that's always driven some of my collecting in the cards that I'll purchase, but not necessarily for the PSA set registry. I did think that was neat. They highlighted that he said gamification. That's not a word I made up, but it sounds like a word that
does.
It's a real word. Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of interesting. You complete the set. There's a little bit of competition. There's collection and there's community. And so I think that the basis behind it is a really cool idea. I don't know that this is going to be for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's heavily geared towards vintage card collectors and memorabilia collectors because you don't have to collect just the cards. I mean, there's autographed baseballs, there's autographed memorabilia. Good grief talking. Just like Chad some weeks.
See? Not so easy,
hard.
is it?
Yeah. And then really oddball things like, cap cards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we run our show outlines, I don't mean to pull the curtain back too much, but we have a working document that we all work off of, so we know what the show is going to be about in any given week. And I like to take that text and paste it and then add my notes so that you guys are not privy to it and can get honest reactions, right? I think we all do something similar.
I do the same thing. I'm worried that you're going to tell me that I accidentally screwed up our show notes and put mine in there instead.
No.
Okay, good.
And the reason this is so funny is I left my original note and then I added a new note. My first note says, I like the concept of this program, but I don't think it works. I think it takes too much time versus reward.
Were you talking about our show?
That's what I thought he was saying.
Oh, wait, that was for you guys for off air. No, my next note right underneath, update. I love this set. I totally want to do this.
So I converted one person.
But I don't know that I want to register my set publicly. I wrote.
Yeah.
For those listening last week, I think I dropped on air that my intention was to start a binder with every Barry Sanders card. I wanted one of each card I could get my hands on over time and to see how it would grow.
Yep.
This set is doing what I want to do, but in PSA form.
Sure.
Which I have also said off air that I hope to own every card I own in PSA slabbed.
Yeah.
I've been crazy
That's
enough
true.
to say that.
There's nothing stopping you. You even have the checklist now for you. So.
I love it. And so I don't know that I'm going to, get every Barry Sanders card in PSA form, but I'm sure going to use this checklist to create my collection set. And maybe as over time, we'll start to collect every card in PSA form.
Let's cover two other points with the checklist.
Please.
Number one, these checklists already exist on the PSA website.
Right.
Number two is that the ranking system, we went through a few features, but the one that we did not talk about is the example that they gave with the Mickey Mantle 1952 set, which I thought was really interesting. So, Tim, both you and I could have a complete set of 1952 baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And every grade be exactly the same,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception, let me make sure I'm thinking about this correctly and expressing this correctly. They weigh certain cards heavier. Meaning the Mickey Mantle in that set, that if I have a higher graded Mickey Mantle than you do, then my set is going to score higher than yours.
Yeah, just by default.
Let me put this another way. If I had a higher ranking Jeff Malone 86 Fleer card, it would probably rank higher.
Well, I'm not explaining it perfect because I'm
it's
just
player
explaining
name.
one card, right? But they said that there is an algorithm for how they grade that. So it wouldn't just be you and I having the exact same of everything else. Perhaps, and what they hinted at is you could have 10s of every card in a Mickey Mantle 2. I could have 9s of every card and a Mickey Mantle 4, and perhaps mine is weighted higher and have a better set.
Right, because
which
that's
I thought
the
was kind of
marquee card.
unique, and I like that. And so if you really were going to chase something like that down, that part would be the competition that they mentioned and would be fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually drives a lot of collectors, I feel like, right? So, Rhoda, have you seen examples of this or like people that either you're close to or that you've personally tried to chase as far as sets go?
My answer is going to be short.
That's okay.
No.
No. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that. I thought the 1952 mantle was a perfect segue to a Yankees fan.
Just like the audience is, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. This is news to me. I mean, you told me about it earlier in the week, but it was new.
I stumped Roto.
Wow.
I know.
Well, this is good. It means that we are providing some information that is not common knowledge, not just for us, but for listeners as well.
I mean, I don't hear it talked
Nobody
about
else. You've taught me something, and that's one. That's one life.
Does the Donovan Mitchell or John Elway set interest you at all? I mean, maybe not even to the point of registering on the PSA site, but does that interest you at all to say like, oh, these are some cards I can go after or something?
It does a little bit, but I need to research it more. To be honest with you, when we're recording a little bit early this week and
very early
looking at the Donovan Mitchell, I didn't get in depth enough into the list. There is one that was pulled up on my computer. I'm not certain if I created the list like a couple of years ago or if it's one that actually exists. So I can't give you good enough information yet, but I will go look this up.
Very cool.
I did look at some of the players in the 90s, specifically with basketball, because Tim asked us, hey, which list would you go after? So immediately I thought about Shaquille O'Neal. And I thought about Shaq because I always enjoyed him as a player. I know he's very polarizing and half the people here may not like him, but I always enjoyed him. I thought I collected a fair amount of his cards. So I went to go pull up his list thinking it would be inserts or rookie cards. And I didn't love the list that I saw. I saw the master list, but that was like 1,000 cards.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw the other one, which was like a Topps master list. And I've never been a big Topps guy. Like, I think the Topps Shaq rookie card is probably one of the few rookie cards of Shaq that I do not own. I definitely don't own the gold.
Interesting.
It never stood out to me as a product that I was collecting as a kid. So that was a little disheartening. I went to pull up, I tried to see if there was like Von Miller, wanted to look at Peyton Manning, and just none of them stood out to me as cards that I already have to have a good foundation off of to build.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's fair.
But it does intrigue me enough to go back and look some more, especially with some of my rare cards.
Right.
And that's where I could say, okay, I've already got this foundation. Now let's build off of it.
I was going to say that might be an excellent resource to find some unique cards you may not have been thinking of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To add to your collection.
There
Even
are
if you're not.
separate lists for autographs as well, I should point out.
Correct.
Well, and I noticed with the Barry Sanders, I keep going back to it, but I thought it was a good representation of what they have to offer. And that is they have the basic set. And what's nice about Barry, as this is for you, Wax Museum Kyle, he quit so early in his career that there's not that many cards by comparison.
Well, right.
And that would
Because he
make
only
this
played for so many years.
Round and obtainable.
Right.
That's
and
the thing. Yeah.
so when I saw his set, it did not look overwhelming by comparison. But here's what's cool. They had a Barry Sanders Prospectors set, which is just 4 cards. It's his 4 different rookie cards. Okay. So you could start with the basic, go to prospecting. You could then expand to the inserts and the special editions. They had those. And some of these I'm sure have been created by Joe Schmo, and God knows how complete they are. But I thought, what an excellent way to like start small, get your baseline of whoever you want to collect, and start adding to it as you go on. You can still have that sense of I've achieved one set completed, and now I'm expanding it.
And in case you're listening at home thinking, oh gosh, it's just going to be some of the star players who are out there. Just in basketball player sets alone, 6,300 sets are on this site. So honestly, even if you think that your player may be a little obscure,
I can
look up your player.
I can break that rumor right now. Cecil Fielder is included on this set. So.
I didn't find a Frank Thomas set.
What?
That was absurd.
There are
No
multiple
way.
Cecil Fielders.
In baseball. Like I searched a lot of different ways. Maybe I'm just being a knob.
Well,
but
it's baseball, man.
no
What do
Frank
you
Thomas. On the flip side of it, Walter Payton, kind of like Barry Sanders. I mean, he only has 13 cards in his basic set. And I was like, there is nothing stopping me from getting 13 cards of his. Right. And they're all really interesting cards that I've seen before. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Doable.
If one of us ends up getting like top winner of the year, I think they do these annually, right?
Yeah.
And we get that badge, we tattoo that badge somewhere on our body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a star, so you could put it anywhere.
No, I don't think they are stars. I think that, well, one of them's a star that comes up next to your name, but they have certain badges that
they
you
have
can
little
acquire.
badges.
the actual
They
badges.
have little badges.
Okay. And I want that. Yeah.
And I like that idea. I like where your head's at, Chad.
This sounds like a bet for the podcast. Yeah.
I would say whoever gets it, Tim has to get the
what?
That is what we're looking for the bet of 2022.
No.
Ricky, I'll shake on it right
No.
now. Done. Binding.
We've got to win this in Roto.
Perfect. Tim, thank you.
Revoke this entire
You can show
segment.
your tattoo off to the UPS man.
One rule I did note in this, in the weeds, in reading through the rules, they allow you to include they define possession of a card. So whether or not you have possession of this card in your set, it includes cards you have off at consignment that haven't sold yet.
Mm-hmm.
That should not count.
No, because they're not in your possession.
Right.
Right. And you're already declaring your intent to have them no longer be in your
Exactly.
possession.
If they're in the process of being sold, you can't claim them as yours. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess theoretically you could, but this is ridiculous.
A quick clarification. Go check out the basketball player sets checklist on your own. I think that there's some odd wording that they have. I don't think that there's actually 6,300 sets that they stated. So go check that out on your own.
Okay. Timmy,
Yeah.
He hinted at Michael Jordan, and then he dropped it.
You
just
did.
completely dropped it.
I don't know.
Is now the appropriate time for you, Tim,
needed
to
take a
talk
step
about Michael
back.
Jordan?
Needed to take a step back and just say, hey, PSA registries,
yeah.
But yeah, as far as the inspiration for the segment, the Michael Jordan basic set. And so I had texted you, Chad and Ricky, earlier today about how embarrassing it was that I didn't own at least the top 30 in a PSA 9.
I was embarrassed for you.
I was.
That was
too.
embarrassing. You want to know the math on that? Throwing out the rookie card and throwing out, 87 and 88, the top 3 most expensive cards. $645 for the other 27 cards in the top 30 as a PSA 9. $645. That's embarrassing. Yeah. Because I don't care about the PSA 10s for a lot of these base cards, right? I mean,
you spent more than that in crypto this morning, I guarantee you.
That's
not this morning, but this week for
you
sure.
You spent more than that in brunch in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, give me a break. I got friend zoned anyways.
I wasn't going to bring that up. Okay, so this is the Michael Jordan base set. There is a leader, Northeast Sports Cards.
Yeah.
The winner in 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 21.
But you can't select him.
100% complete.
Yeah. Wasn't messing around.
He's an owner of a card shop. Of course he has all the Jordans.
Well, we don't know that. Northeast Sports Cards.
So what do you do at that point? It seems to lend itself to ties or.
Well, I wonder. So
the first person to complete it
can't be shattered.
That's assuming that every one of his are 10s.
Well, and tie goes to the runner, meaning whoever gets there first is how they've
but if one of his is not a 10 and Tim obtains that
10, then
Tim could take over.
That's true.
Northeast Sports Cards.
Mike Baker to put a sticker on it.
Oh, that's a special badge right there.
That's interesting. Now, that's a very good question. Mike Baker was not in the PSA website.
He was not.
Nope.
And we all know PSA owns Mike Baker. The man, not the company.
Yes.
Interesting. That's a good question.
Well, Tim, I do think you did ask us to weigh in on which cards you should target on this list.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the obvious rookie card, right, that I need to at some point rectify again. But yeah, I mean, I was looking through that list, and I think it's really well representative of his cards. You know, it gets into like the 90s inserts as well, which are far more interesting to me than, you know, the early stuff because, you know, everybody and their mom owns one of those or has seen one of those.
Right.
I thought one of the interesting omissions was, you know, I mean, these are cards from the years that the players are playing. And Jordan played baseball in one of those given years. And so
get the hell out.
The 91 Upper Deck SP1 baseball card was a glaring omission, in my opinion. Also, now that we've been heavy on movies lately, the 92 Upper Deck Fanimation card of Jordan's was not on there. And I thought that was significant.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's
really
iconic
like that
enough,
card.
recognizable enough that I thought that should have been on there.
Insert. It's not a base card. It's an insert.
Yeah.
It's a 6-card insert. I have it.
It's a
Is it an
5-card
insert?
5-card
Yes.
set. You know.
It wasn't back numbered at the end of that Upper Deck set?
No. It's Fanimation F1, F2, F3.
Yeah, you're right. So that's probably why it got omitted.
Okay.
That's fair.
But that's it. That's a good catch on your part. And I loved that set.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fantastic one. I mean, anybody who's interested, I mean, go look it up. There's only 5 cards in the set. You know,
Yeah.
Just MJ Bird Duel,
Carl.
and Matambo. Yeah.
Tim, are you gunning for Northeast Sports Cards or not?
No.
Why?
I can't compete with that.
Well, that's a way to lay down really quick there. All right.
Do you know how you climb a mountain? One step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Okay.
turning around, getting in your car, and driving home.
Yeah, evidently.
Going to brunch.
Get back in your car, lock your keys in the car, have to call your friends for help, have your friends take you to brunch, and then get home.
This is something I'll do on my own pace,
Tim.
and I will not be comparing myself to others because there's 5 bazillion other Jordan collectors out there.
I agree with you. Do not go onto this set and try and compare yourself to
Nope.
others.
Not
Yep,
going to happen.
I agree with that.
You will
agree
never
with that.
compete with these people.
Nope.
So I don't like the website and the fact that right now I'm trying to pull up this guy's cards and see which ones he has 10s on.
Can't.
And
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No,
like if
it's
there's truly going to
clunky.
be some, like you want to catch this guy, tell me how to go catch it.
Well, and that's just it. I think if you're going to be on the registry, you should
her.
you should have to make your list accessible.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Public, right? You disagree?
Sorry, what's that, Roto?
I think it inspires you to do your best,
Aw.
and that's what matters.
I love that sentiment.
I mean, he's right.
Well, but speaking of doing your best, Tim, I have written the plan on how you're going to accomplish this Jordan goal.
How's that?
Well, we're going to just start with step 1. Step 1 is you're going to pick one nice card off of that list and target it.
Uh-huh.
But before you target the next nice card, you have to pick up 3 of the base ones, 3 of the cheapies.
I think that's fair.
3 to 1.
3-to-1 ratio.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean-
we'll start building up pretty quick over the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I blew it on a spot in the break with Sir Roto over there today. And
What?
picked up a PSA 9 on one of those cards. Yeah. $37 would have bought me one of those cards. Got nothing instead.
I got lost, but that sounds cool.
He admitted to breaking today.
Oh, it was technically, 2 nights ago, Roto, where I bought into your filler?
Well, it was technically an event. It was a colossal mega filler.
Oh my God.
That he won a spot in a break. So he didn't actually buy into a break.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fair. See? Yeah. I like that technicality.
Well, but that brings me to my
helps you
next
or
point.
hurts you.
How come, Chad? What's it going to take?
What?
Do we have to give him cold hard cash? $1,000? Will that do it? That you'll tell us when these awesome events are happening?
Yeah, seriously.
What's it going to take?
You just friend request me.
Yeah, we got to go straight to the source.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Free.
All right. Well, that was an excellent find, Timmy.
Thanks. I mean, it's just at least hopefully a new topic for people,
Yeah.
to think about.
No, for sure. For sure. Are there any teams? Would you be interested in collecting like the 97, 98 Bulls?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I got to get to Jordan first. He was the Bulls.
I don't know.
You claim to be a Jazz fan too.
Yeah, well. What are they?
97, 98's a sore spot for Chad up there.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, just me.
No, I was. It's the closest to the sun we've ever flown.
Are you in or not? Are you in or not?
I'm in. I'm in, baby.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to hop into a conversation with Roto here in just a minute. But before we do, I've got to tell you guys, Timmy, you had purchased Chad and I these amazing hard briefcases to hold our slabbed cards. Mm-hmm. Mine had a Detroit Tigers logo, and Chad's had a Dodgers. They were super cool, and I love them to this day. I'll never get rid of my Tigers one. The problem is, and I think you did this by design, is that they're a little bit on the small side. I think you got them for us with the hopes that we would take them to card shows. Mm-hmm. But that's the only case I have, and I'm starting to fill it up. So I went over to our boys at zioncases.com this past weekend, and since my old case is full, I made the decision to upgrade my collection case.
Yeah, boy.
You did it.
Now, I've done it in such a way that I've given the case that I want to Mrs. eBay, so that I'll be getting it as a gift, either a Father's Day or birthday gift coming up here pretty soon.
Can confirm it has not been purchased in the last 48 hours.
Yeah. But while I was on there, I got to tell you guys what I saw. They've got the Slab Case T, which will offer... which will hold all your top loaders and one-touch max. If grading's not for you, you want the Slab Case T. You've got the Slab Case 2-row, which is great for on-the-go, similar to what Tim hooked Chad and I up with initially. Allows you just a couple rows of graded cards, but easy to move around with you at huge Vegas-like card shows. And then you've got the Slab Case X, which holds 70 to 110 graded cards. I loved the look of this. I just needed a little more space.
Uh-oh.
So I was looking at the Slab Case XL or XL Plus.
Ooh, you went big.
Now, these cases are virtually identical. The only difference is the XL Plus is more equipped to handle your SGC cards, whereas your XL is more equipped for the PSA. They're both equipped well enough that they can handle either kind, but they are tailored to a specific type of slab.
Yep.
So for me, I eyeballed this Slab Case XL, and what I noticed when I went on there is that they have, from the Slab Case T all the way up to the Slab Case XL, they're offering not just in their sleek black briefcase look, they're now offering red and blue options.
Whoa.
Perfect for all the hobby enthusiasts in the state of Utah to show their loyalty. This will brighten up your collection. I'm telling you, got to go to zioncases.com. Check out these cases. They look amazing. They are amazing at protecting your cards. Hell, Chad just had his wide open and all the cards stayed put.
It's a fact.
So head over to zioncases.com. Be like your favorite hobby podcast host. Upgrade your collection case. Set up and use the code PACK at checkout and get 10% off your entire order. That's zioncases.com, promo code PACK. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the show. You can check us out on our website at pttfpodcast.com. That's pttfpodcast.com. You can listen to every show we produce. You can check out our video clips on our YouTube page. Visit our fine sponsors of the show and get all of your hobby needs taken care of. and leave us a voicemail.
Voicemail was ringing off the hook this last week. Off the hook.
Yeah, we're
more than what we can fit on the show this
Absolutely.
week.
Yeah.
Yes, it blew
Intense.
up.
We love it, so thank you.
Yes, and we're going to get to it all, and we're going to spotlight it, so bear with us. But Chad almost had to unhook the phone line, if you will, last night. All right, Timmy, why don't you take us into our next segment?
And so, as you've heard in segment 1, a few whispers from our guest in the background, Mr. Jonathan Rotonda, a good friend of the podcast, a personal friend in the hobby, and just a personal friend. So here we go. Thanks for joining us, Roto.
Chad, let's try that clap again. Much better.
Doing it by yourself is fun. Doing it with the others is even more fun.
Yeah, using 2 hands also helps. So.
Apply those words of wisdom to your everyday life, boys and girls.
Yeah, not just your left. So
That's too far, Tim.
that's
The joke, the punchline was there, it was delivered. You opened it back up.
all right. I'm sorry. Focus. So, Roto, thanks for joining us. We were excited to have you back on just because it's been a while since you were on the show. And in the meantime, back then you had told us and revealed to the hobby world that you had joined up with a particular breaker by the name of Kyle Rhino.
That's actually not how it happened.
No?
Kyle told you.
Kyle told us. We even talked about this before the show, Tim. We talked about this before the show.
Revisionist history. Hey, come on. You were supposed to roll with that.
You remember it how you want to remember it, but the world knows. That
Yeah.
Kyle,
All right. Sorry about that, Kyle. If you're listening out there, I
Well, Roto's
apologize.
got it
Yeah.
in a non-disclosure.
Yeah, NDA. Yep.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Well,
That
I'll
way he's
never
gotta
forget it because he hadn't yet
Told
me
you.
that he was.
Oh, that's
telling
right. That's
anyone
right.
that.
That's right.
Oh, buddy.
So,
We're off to a stellar start. So,
it's good. It's good.
but yeah, would you mind just filling in the hobby world, filling us in too about how you feel like things have been going and what's been new over there? So.
Yeah, it's a big change from what I was used to in my little hole in Roto Breaks. Kyle obviously has built a gigantic business, and so excited to be a part of that. It's been a lot of work and a lot of adjustment because on top of the breaking side, we're working feverishly to get the Monster Card Shop up and running, which the plan is to have that fully open this week, which is pretty exciting. On top of that, with Monster, we have been on loop, which you've discussed, I believe, in the past. We've been on loop for a few months now. So basically, in addition to the one business that I was brought in to help operate, we've added 2 more, which is good, without more people to do it. So that's been fun. And then I've in the meantime still trying to keep Roto Box in the faces of all of humanity, which that's fun. I'm still doing that where I have the time to keep it rolling. But that's what's going on with me. We love it out here in Arizona. It's really nice. It's hot.
So one of the reasons to bring you on is not only to come and have some banter with us, but you have your hand dipped in so many different aspects, what you just mentioned. So to summarize, the Roto Box with the repack product, you are involved with Monster Breaks in breaking in all these different highly known platforms, and then a card shop located in Arizona as well. So really plugged into all things associated with the hobby.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, what don't I do? I'm a chameleon.
You're an all-star, Roto. Yeah.
So I think we kind of wanted to pick your brain, right, Tim, on these different aspects that he's involved with.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot of hobbyists' potential dream, I think, to own a card shop, right? So, I mean, you're living a lot of people's dreams right now. And so...
Shop's opening this week. Now would be a perfect time to tell us about the shop.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we we're located, of course, we're in the Phoenix area. It's called Queen Creek. It's actually a fairly small community that's growing. So it's kind of neat that we've built up this really state-of-the-art hobby shop kind of in the middle of nowhere. But the thought behind that is we're hoping that it's a destination location for people. We've got it set up. It's fairly large, and it's actually, we've already learned that we don't have enough room, so we're taking over a jiu-jitsu studio next door. But currently it's
Roto takeover.
Yeah. It's not a very good jiu-jitsu studio.
Season 6 of Cobra Kai.
We've already neutralized the threat over there, so we're just taking it over. But no, we're 3,700 square feet as it is, and then we're going to be adding another 2,400 square feet, which we're going to put some cool stuff in there. But we've got 10 TVs in there. We've got 8 full-size arcade and pinball machines.
That's awesome.
We're building a library. We're trying to promote literacy in the community. So we're hoping that
I appreciate that. For someone who can't read, I appreciate that.
Before we got here, most of the people in the area could not read. So we're really making a difference in that area. Wow. That's not true. They can read. But
I don't know if I should laugh or not.
My heart skipped a beat. I'm as pale as I've ever been. I felt like a total and complete ass.
No, a lot of them can read, from my understanding.
Ricky, mute me.
He's going down.
But no, there's we're trying to make it more than when you think of kind of the existing hobby shops over the past 30, 40 years, you think kind of dilapidated wood grain paneling on the walls, boxes everywhere, and there's something to that. But basically what the powers that be have told us they're looking for when supporting a shop is a modern look, a clean, inviting look. They want card shop owners to invest heavily into creating an environment that people want to go to. And so, I think we've done that. It's not perfect, but for a first go round, I think Kyle's done, it's mainly Kyle's vision. That is what we're looking at. So, he's done a great job, and I'm excited that people are excited about the shop.
Well, I am, and I think that's amazing that you say you want it to become a destination. I was just getting ready to start chirping at both of these guys, and Chad has it up. He's already road mapped it out. You guys are too close for us not to come and invade and do a live show.
Dude, I know.
In spring training. I mean, that's got to be a perfect place for people to go. For every one of our listeners who goes and does these spring training road trips, you are not far, according to this map on my iPad.
Man, yeah, let's plan on that.
From Phoenix.
How cool would that be?
An idea would be where you guys could actually work in the shop for a week, and I just leave, and you'd kind of get the experience.
Oh my God! Don't even tease us with that. So a quick
Chad's face is completely lit.
There
up
was
for
a period
anybody.
of time when our local card shop was looking to add an employee. Ricky and I kid you not, printed out our resumes and showed up at the front door of the card shop as soon as it opened. And we went in, and she said, "Nope, not you guys."
Well, that is true.
Broke our hearts, crushed our dreams.
That was quick.
That is true. Roto is Muhammad Ali, and he is spinning circles around us, Chad. He was joking, saying he could go take a vacation.
He cracked the door. When the door's cracked, you kick it
That's
open.
right, Roto. You made a mistake in that you didn't know. Chad and I have been begging to run a shop for free.
I think by working, he meant, like wiping down the pinball machine.
That's all right.
Restocking.
Totally fine with that.
Throwing out all the old top loaders.
We just want to be around the cards.
there's a lot of them there. So, this will be a great experience for all of us. And I'm excited at the end of the week to come back and hear how it went.
He comes back, the lights, fixtures hanging from the ceiling. Oh, and I do want to jump into. Yes, we want to jump into some of your experiences as a card shop owner, and helping out with the card shop, part of it at least. But before we do, you mentioned briefly Loop, and that we talked about it on a previous episode. Yeah. And I wanted to get your take. You now have experience breaking, and I don't know what to call the previous platforms. I'll call it a traditional platform via Facebook or some of these breaking websites, anything that might use like an actual computer camera for, versus Loop, where your buyers are using their handheld devices. Mm-hmm. What, in using Loop, is there anything that stands out to you that is far superior to be using these application-based services versus web-based or traditional-based? What do you love about it, and what do you dislike about it compared to the traditional sense?
That's a good question and a good topic that I could go on for a very long time about. But
Please.
To put it, Tim can tell you that Loop was kind of my idea many years ago. In a sense, I had built actually a website that for a couple different reasons, it was not a success. But the idea was there, where it was basically what I thought the hobby needed was a hub that people could go to that wasn't Facebook or Instagram or things like that. Because we run into all kinds of different problems on Facebook. It's become increasingly difficult to operate the way our business has operated for a long time on Facebook, because we get banned regularly.
Roto's got an account set up under his daughter's name because every like 15 days he gets banned for 24, 48 hours.
It's
for violating policies.
I violated a lot of policies on Facebook, and the problem that ends up happening then is when you own or when you're operating in a Facebook group and you're making posts, is the Facebook heavies don't want your post to be seen, because you're basically like a renegade. They don't want people to be notified when you post. So what ends up happening is when I make posts in my own group, nobody's being notified about it, and so post engagement is on the decline. At Monster Breaks, we got a group of almost 10,000 people. Let's say half of them have the notifications turned on. If I make a post about a break, a lot of times after 3 hours, it shows that only 100 people have seen it, which doesn't make any sense. So it's become difficult to operate on Facebook. And this was kind of my thinking back when I created. It was called the Breakers League. And I was a visionary ahead of my time. This was many years ago, and Tim was actually supposed to be a part of it. Junkies Breaks. He was one of the first people that I reached out to.
Yeah, that's how we started talking again.
Our qualifications were minimal at best to get onto my platform, and it did function. But what I liked about it was that not everyone wants to have a Facebook account. Not everyone wants to have people have access to anything about them just because they want to buy some cards and just because they want to watch people open them.
Right.
And so creating these apps, whether it's Loop or whatnot, or the other one, which I'll never name.
You don't have to. They weren't paid anyway.
The new one that sucks. These people are allowed to just go on and watch breaks and buy something, and nobody knows who you are. Pure anonymity, unless you want to say who you are. You've got like a username, and the content's kept pretty clean. It's just nice to have it all in that one spot. I really like that. I like that that if my dad wanted to get into a break and let's say he doesn't have a Facebook account because he's 60 something, I could show him how to use Loop and he could log on and he can use Apple Pay and he can buy something. So I really enjoy that. And there's a lot of differences between the two main platforms that we could get into or not, whatever you guys want to do. But, I think each serves its own purpose. I like them each for different reasons. I think they're very different, but I both think that they have a lot to offer. But yeah, those are some of the negatives, I guess, to kind of explain why we're looking at a shift off of the way we have been doing business, like on Facebook, to moving on to these platforms. It's mainly because Zuck and Co. have forced us to.
Got it.
Yeah, no, and that's really too bad because that's really been a recent change in the last 2 years, I feel like, on Facebook, because that really... Facebook was unique in the sense that even though these are closed groups, there was a decent amount of interaction, I felt like, pre and around breaks that Whatnot and Loop don't necessarily offer, because that's how I've met a lot of my hobby friends. And Facebook is just bantering and, exactly, joking around with each other, getting a feel for each other. And I feel like the Shop Now type apps don't quite offer that. But, I think we're more curious, I guess, on this side now than... from your perspective as a breaker, what are the advantages to Whatnot and Loop from that side then? So,
well, there's a lot. Loop, I will say, in my experience, is very strict about who they will allow on the platform. They are, I would say, right-sized by design. There's a lot of steps to getting on the Loop platform. You have to be pretty well vetted, and you're vetted by actual people that I know pretty well at this point. And so the number of sellers on Loop, I'm not sure the exact total, but it has to be less than 100. And I would say at any given time live, you're looking at 10 or less. And so as a user, it's a little easier to navigate. It's a little easier to kind of find your favorites and stay with them. I think that they are pretty strict in what they allow you to do on there to try and make it less of a gambly experience, for lack of a better way of putting it. I think that they're, I would say, the more conservatively operated of the two. And I appreciate that. I really like... I like how difficult it was for Monst, even a company the size of Monster, to get on and up and running with Loop. Like, if you see a seller on Loop, they've been vetted. Your money is safe with that seller, and I really like that. From a seller's perspective, it seems more difficult to sell high dollar items on Loop. It just doesn't seem like that they have the audience. Drake isn't going on there and buying boxes of Flawless. So that, I guess, is kind of the one of the downsides. You look at Whatnot. So before I go over to Whatnot, basically for Monster Card Shop, Loop is a excellent place to be. We have every hobby box you could possibly imagine. We have great pricing. We get heavy allocations, some of the best in the business. So we're able to be very competitive and fair with how we price things, and Loop's a great place to do that. Whatnot, on the other hand, I'm new to. I haven't actually even sold on there yet. So I've just become a part of Whatnot, and that is on the Roto Box side. Whatnot seems to be a lot like the Wild West in a lot of ways. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and there's a lot of people they market heavily, and so there's a lot of people using the app, and there's a lot of people selling on the app. So on Whatnot, it's a little more difficult to navigate, but that said, pretty much anything you're looking for is found there. And so, you just got to kind of do your research, because there are some great breakers on Whatnot, and there are some that aren't. And they're a little more liberal in who they're letting on there and what they're letting them do, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay, so right now, for the people who have not broken on Whatnot, how do you convince them to do it? So people who are in the know, right? We don't have to go into details about it, but people are skeptical about Whatnot because of one particular group. So how do you convince them to say, you know what, this is still the right thing, and there are still good breakers out there, and come check out my shop there?
Well, even that particular shop, they may not be everyone's cup of tea, and they may have made some mistakes. But that said, they've built an interesting business and an interesting following. They're not idiots. They look like idiots, but you're not an idiot and building a business at the scale and speed at which they're doing it. They are not idiots, and they're doing a lot of things right. And they're doing a lot of things that I wish I could do. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't particularly like them. I'm just watching. If you really take a step back, and it's like, how did they get that big? And you start to dig a little bit, and you realize that they're putting out 3 YouTube videos a day. They're making, 8 to 10 Instagram posts per day. They've got 9 guys streaming on Whatnot, and they have all the products you could hope for. They've got personalities that, us old dudes don't want to watch them, but but they're putting on a show. It's not a lot different than like you go and watch WWE. You kind of realize that this can't be what they're really like, but they're entertaining you. So like, I say this as they're not my cup of tea, but like they are running, in a lot of ways, an impressive business, I think, in today's world. So like the Lawrence Gold thing was clearly a mistake. They clearly handled that as badly as they could have. There's no exonerating them from that. Yeah. But smart people in this hobby who are soon to be controlling everything, take that for what it's worth, but they believe in these people, and they've had extensive visits with them and extensive conversations. And so, I wouldn't even discourage people from buying from those people. I'm not going to name those people, but they, they're out there. So I wouldn't, to go back to your point, a lot of people buy from these people, and a lot of people buy from these people on a regular basis. So they must be fulfilling their obligation the large majority of the time. When you're buying something, it seems safe to assume that you're going to get what you paid for. You may have paid 2 times too much for it, but you're going to get whatever you paid for from them.
Right.
And that said, they're just one segment of the community on there. There's you have the ability to log on there, and you're able to watch as many streams as you want for free. A lot of these people gain their followers by doing giveaways. So a lot of people are doing giveaways. So if you're skeptical about spending money on there, go on there, watch people. It's entertaining. Enter some giveaways, find people you like, and then, and then make that leap of faith. I wouldn't try to encourage someone to to buy from this guy or that guy or anyone but me. There's no reason to ever buy from anyone but one of my companies. So, just wait until I'm live and then just come on there and you're going
to. So what I'm hearing from you is that the app is still okay. There's something for different people. And even though one particular group may not be your thing, still overall, there's still something for someone there. And that's why someone would go onto that app to look for you.
Sure. And I made the point that I would say Loop has less than 100 active sellers that use the platform at all. You log on to Whatnot at any given time, there's probably 200 sellers live, and there's probably 900 sellers who aren't. Right. So like you got to do a little bit of, but that's kind of fun. You pop into this feed or that feed, see what they've got going on. And then, a lot of guys you won't like, and a few guys you will. And so, if you like a personality, there's probably it on the Whatnot app. So there's the rodeo clowns, and then there's, guys like Tim.
Couldn't be any farther from the other end of the spectrum.
So Roto, speaking generally as a breaker, and then I want to get into the card shop portion of your business that you work with. As a whole, how do you feel the business of breaking is going? It's booming? Is it waning? Is it steady?
I've had this conversation with Kyle actually over the course of the past couple weeks. It's shifting. I would say that it's very strong. It's still happening. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that it's happening is definitely changing. And if we don't change with it, we're going to be out of the hobby.
How is it changing?
Well, there's a couple things. We at Monster Breaks, have catered to this audience that basically is bought into breaks in the $50 to $150 per spot range. I would call it the middle class, if you will. We're not busting blasters at $15 a spot, and we're not doing, full cases of Flawless on the regular. We're kind of in the middle. We're the everyman type breaker. And, with the economy the way it is, or I don't even want to say economy, I'm not an economist by any means, but just with inflation and everything getting more expensive, the people that are feeling that the most is the people that we've built a business around. Someone whose budget for breaks is $100, is having a tougher time right now,
right?
Being involved, and or at least even gambling on a break, if you will. Mm-hmm. So what that customer it seems to be going towards is more buying their own personal box. I think we're seeing a lot more personal box sales because people just want to enjoy their hobby. They want to buy something and they want to get something, and that's it. They don't feel like they've thrown their precious $100 away or $200 or whatever it is. I think that people that are in that class of customer are moving in that direction. And that's the class of customer that I'm in. I don't get into, anything huge like that. It seems like the top end, so you got your NT football and your Flawless, that is as strong as ever because, these are the people either without budgets or without brains. So, they're going to buy it no matter what.
Yeah.
And as I spoke about the Facebook becoming a challenge and the explosion of Loop and Whatnot, it seems like a lot of the customer base is heading over there. We have, 10,000 people, like I said, in our group at Monster Breaks, and that's been built over since 2015. So that's 7 years. If you log on to Whatnot and you click on, say Pull Wax, guys I really like, you click on them and they've got 57,000 people following them.
Jeez.
On what?
Wow.
I mean, it's
just different scale.
Insane. I don't know where those people are coming from, but they're, because they're not. Facebook is a very homogenous environment. It's everyone's in every group. We share a very small customer base, and that customer base, I think, is shrinking because they're heading to these apps. When you go on to Whatnot, they're auctioning off they'll put up a mixer and they'll do a random teams break, and they're auctioning off each spot a minute at a time. And that in 32 minutes, that football break is going to start because all the teams are going to be sold via auction. And so it's hitting that, they're getting that endorphin rush. It's the instant gratification. And so I don't know, it's shifting in that direction. And I think if you're not heading towards one of those apps, then you're going to have a tough time. And I'm not, our business is going really well, but it is tougher than it has been in the past year to get breaks full. We have to run a lot more fillers. We have to give stuff away. We have to do all kinds of stuff. We're getting more active on social media, which we should be doing anyway, but it's a struggle. And that's why we've picked up Loop. That's why I'm picking up Whatnot for Roto Box stuff. I don't know if Monster's going to come on board with that or not, but at least I'll be there and you guys can come see me. But it's interesting. If you're paying attention to what's going on or you're a business owner, you definitely can feel a shift unless you're just like on autopilot.
So real quick before Ricky jumps in for a transition, I want to go back to something you said a couple of minutes ago. You said that there's a shift and you're seeing more people buy personal boxes. What are you seeing with the prices of hobby boxes as a whole over the past 6 months?
It's tough. Tim can tell you for years, I've thought that like wax has been like insane. I just can't wrap my head around the prices, but but with singles selling as strong as they are, there's really no other choice. And the problem that we run into as breakers is in order to replace anything that we sell, the replacement cost is just so outrageous. And I think it's tough to get value out of a lot of products. I feel like I've said this before, but like it's hard to recommend a lot of stuff that's at the prices that they're at.
Well, Tim and I did a box pour last year, and I think we each got 5 or 10% back. And it's only one box; it's a small count, but it was so atrocious. Well, right? I mean, we didn't expect much better, and that's kind of the sad thing. And so, if we're seeing a shift to people, maybe no longer breaking in that range, the hope would be that the prices of boxes at some point are going to start coming down, especially if the return just isn't there. Either that or people just got to quit buying them. I don't know.
You hope, but it's I hope that there is a correction, and Kyle does too. We've had conversations about that because it's Prism football is about to come out, and it's blowout is at $1,600.
I saw that. I thought I saw that the first off the line didn't go as high as what people expected, though. I thought it went less than 2,000. So hopefully that trends down. But I agree with you. That price still seems.
It bottomed out at $1,479, which isn't really the true number because they do charge tax no matter who you are. And so it was probably, all in cost closer to $1,600.
Sure.
But there was a glitch in Panini where like at the same time they were selling boxes for $1,675 and $1,479. So like the true floor was probably, I would say $1,600, but I think a lot of people thought it would go for $2,000. And for one, as a business owner, I want to make money, but like on the same side, like I want to see the trend come down to earth. I just want to see it because otherwise, you get scared. Like, how long is this going to go on? Where's all the money coming from? Like, I don't get it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think any of us do.
So we've been chatting with Jonathan Rotonda of the rotobox.com. Also of, I'm going to get this wrong, Monster Breaks and the Monster Card Shop.
Correct. Yeah.
Roto, I want to ask you just one or two more questions. And one is, in your work with the hobby shop that's opening up here soon, What's your and Kyle's view and or nerves regarding or feelings just in general about Fanatics as they take over Topps and are getting ready to take over the licenses owned by Panini? Are you guys nervous about that? Are you hearing anything? I get the sense that some card shop owners are nervous that this is going to be a Fanatics direct-to-consumer type setup and that they might try to bump some of the card shops out of business. What's your feelings or thoughts on that?
I'm not nervous at all, to be honest. I think Fanatics has made themselves available at a lot of the recent events, the Mint Collective being one, the Topps Conference, which was here in Arizona, another. We've gotten to spend a lot of time with important people at Fanatics. And I think they've been as transparent as they can be with what their plans are. And I do think direct to consumer is going to be a part of their model. But as far as specifically card shop owners, the message that was given to me, and I don't think that this is any kind of secret. And if it is, well, whatever. I guess I'll.
You heard it here first.
You've heard it here first from Kyle
on Back to the Future.
Yep.
You heard it here first. I'm Kyle Reno. When you look at Fanatics, and they didn't say anything is or isn't going to happen, so nothing is
sure
set in stone. But just if you take a look at it and the current business that Fanatics runs, what about the current hobby ecosystem can they not replace? Okay. They can sell boxes online very easily. Okay. They can hire a bunch of people to open those boxes for customers. Okay. People want to watch it. They could build an app that, they have billions and billions and billions of dollars. Any app that's been built, they could build the same thing. What can't they do? They can't be from Queen Creek, Arizona, and they can't build a shop in a community and staff it with passionate business owners who ingrain themselves in that community and build a business at, a hometown level. That's what the local card shop. It's not, you don't call it the local McDonald's. You don't call it the local Walmart. I mean, maybe you do, but you don't have any attachment to that place.
Right.
It's there. But people come into the card shop and they spend time there. They develop a relationship with the card shop owner. They support that. They pay more to make sure that the card shop can be there. People in the community come to the card shop. And that's what Fanatics can't do. They cannot pop up 100 card shops and have them be impactful the way that the individually owned card shops are.
Right.
So as a card shop owner, if you're out there listening, my recommendation to you is what Fanatics does want to see is they know that everyone who owns a card shop or is a breaker has made money in the past few years. Like, they're not stupid. That's why they're in the business. They know everybody got paid. Right. What they want to see is people reinvesting their money into the card shops, update them, make them look nice, make them a place that people want to go. And then Fanatics is going to support you. That's the message that we've been given. And that's what I think any card shop owner needs to do is they need to not be crappy. You need to, get a new sign, put in some nice shelves, take some pride in your card shop, and Fanatics is going to help you grow it. And I'm not nervous about them taking over because that's the messaging that myself and a lot of, other business owners that I've spoken to have been given by people. I don't think it's a secret. So, I don't think there's any need to be nervous unless you haven't been doing that. If you haven't been taking pride in your business and you've fallen behind, then yeah, be nervous. But if you haven't, then there's hope, and I hope it's going to be better.
Man, what an awesome sentiment to end the show on.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Before we let you go just yet, Roto, people can find you at therotobox.com. Why don't you give us a quick breakdown of what they can find at therotobox.com and tell us a quick little story about how Gary V stole V and Friends from you as well.
Was I supposed to have that story prepared?
No, I'm just teasing you with the cat cards after you said that you created Loop, and I had to give you a hard time.
I didn't create Loop. It was just,
I know.
I had the idea for it.
I know. I just had to rib you a little. But what can people find when they go onto the rotobox.com and buy one of your awesome products?
No, this kind of, I think, goes back to a little bit about what we talked about with the increasing price of wax, and the ROI that you guys have been seeing. It's a challenge. So, the Roto Box is a repack product where, I make all these by hand, and I think we've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now, and I think that we offer some of the best value in the world with any of any product. But we make baseball, basketball, and football. We've got things on the website now we got packs as low as $65 that get you a graded star baseball card, and then we've got basketball cases which are $2,200 a pop. We make a good quality repack product. Are you gonna turn a profit every single time? No. Are you going to turn a profit some of the time? Yes. When you don't turn a profit, are you going to lose everything? No. So, it's good stuff. It's cards that I like. I'm a passionate collector myself. So, if you want to have the excitement of opening up something at home and know that you're going to get a fair value and a fair shot at something really cool, then that's what you'll find on my website. And then, like you said, Gary V did steal Beacon from me. And all of these ideas were mine. But the one that I did end up doing was make the rotobox.com. So just, check it out, buy something, and I'll send you something good.
No, you do need to check it out. I completely agree. And we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. I love what you've done in some of your products, combining a random graded card with some packs of cards so that people can still get the thrill of the chase. I'm giving you a little bit of a ribbing, Roto, but I have long held the position that cat cards from Roto are far superior to V Friends. It's what Gary V wishes his set would have been.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's the title. I've held the title for best cat card for the better part of a decade, and others come and go, and I haven't even, they can't even smell me at this point.
Sitting atop of that PSA set registry list, and we have come full circle.
Absolutely.
They don't even know how many variations there are. I mean, I'm just you don't know what grades that guy has. You don't know how many cats I've got, and I've got more coming.
It's really a cat's living set at this point.
Oh, man. Well, thank you very, very much, Roto. Jonathan Rotunda of therotobox.com, Monster Breaks, and the Monster Card Shop. Check him out. This has been another awesome show, guys. For Chad and Timmy, this is Ricky, the Roto Box Cat Card 1 of 1, wishing all of you a 1 of 1 night. Well, guys, we've never allowed a guest into the super secret lounge.
It's a green room.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Timmy, you wanted me to play a voicemail. Is it too late to play it now?
I don't think so. So we had mentioned last week about people calling in and letting us know about their card shop travel stories. And I believe we have one from one of our favorite listeners of the show, Jacob.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Here we go.
What's up, guys? Jacob here. You guys asked us to share vacations, sports card shop experiences, and I've actually been to Cooperstown twice. My grandparents live up there, and I've been able to go a couple times, and it's crazy. I think there's 7 or 8 shops up there, like on one street, and honestly, I think me, my dad, my brother, and my cousins, we all look forward to going to the shops almost as much as the Hall of Fame itself. It's really, really fun to do that and just go to a bunch of shops. There's also memorabilia shops and team shops and all kinds of stuff. I think Baseballism's up there, their headquarters, so tons of cool stuff up there. But yeah, that has been my favorite 2 experiences I mean, it's just really fun to be able to go to 8 card shops in one day. There's all kinds of stuff. They all have new wax, everything. It's really, really fun to do that. And then that honestly set the bar really high. I think I've been one other time to go on a vacation to go to a card shop, but I have a large family that usually doesn't work out. But I'm actually going to Washington, D.C., and maybe I'll get to go to the blowout shop that Ricky went to and check that out. That would be really fun. But the bar is super high because of Cooperstown, so we'll see. We'll see if I can even get to it. But that would be a super fun experience. All right, that's basically my 2 minutes are almost up. So, but yeah, that's kind of my shop experience. That was just super fun to go to Cooperstown and be able to buy cards of the Hall of Famers that we just saw. So, yeah, that's been super fun. All right, thanks, guys.
Go listen to Sports Cards Second.
You have to. And speaking of, dude, all the greatest hobby podcasts, with the exception of ours, are calling to weigh in. Next, we're going to hear from Wax Museum Kyle.